Hello. I am C.A.R.L. Bledsoe Jr. Thank you for swiping, tapping, clicking, same thing, and or creeping to my channel / just this video. Whatever. This is episode 3 of C.A.R.L. Conversations about real life. You hear me? This one is starring Amber St. James. Love you. Thank you so much for doing this interview. This was my first virtual interview, and I think it went over very well. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Okay, talk to y'all later. Bye.
It's already there, but you know what they say, if nobody else is doing it and you have the energy, you have the push, and you have the power, then just go out there and do it. My name is Amber St. James, the mother of the house of the St. James. I am from sunny San Diego, California, in the United States. And I am a drag mother of 5 drag children. I am 24 years old, which is, stunning and young and new and bright, and all those lovely things. And I am a drag queen / activist, / creator / da-da-da-da-da. I do it all. She gives it to you all the time. So, why did you choose to major in Africana Studies? I chose to major in Africana Studies, honestly, because it allowed me to know a lot about myself. Originally, I was an applied mathematics major for about 3 years when I was in college. Well, I mean, I'm still in college, but I'm wrapping up. I'm getting to the end of the semester in my senior year. We just started getting into math and things that just didn't hold my passion anymore. And so I, at the same time, was taking Africana Studies classes because when I first went into college, I was placed into I guess you could call it an extracurricular organization / program for African American students. And they required us to take a lot of Africana Studies courses, to learn about ourselves and university and all kinds of stuff. And I just kind of fell in love, and I was just like, wow, I am truly getting to learn about my people, which really made me reconnect with myself. And there we were, 3 years in, I switched to becoming an interdisciplinary studies major, but with the heavy emphasis being Africana Studies, and then the other 2 that I'm simultaneously majoring in is communications and counseling social change. So all in all, I just want to be a great person that teaches people about being Black, and I want to do it with an emphasis in Black queer theory, which, getting nerding out a little bit, but it would be like me really being able to talk to my students and teach them honestly about myself. Like, I would just get paid to talk about myself, and as a drag queen, I love to talk about myself. Next question. The next question on here is, what classes did you need to take? I had to take history courses. I had to take a lot of theory courses, looking at critical race theory, looking at womanism, looking at feminism, looking at intersectionality, shout out to Kimberly Crenshaw, looking at a lot of different kind of theories, and then there was also a lot of courses looking at the Black political mind, and really being able to map a lot of the ways in which Black minds have created a lot of dissonance and revolutionary ideologies and movements and all kinds of other things. And then there were also some of the fun ones. So I took some hip-hop courses, not like learning how to do the bebopping and skedaddling, but learning about the history, so like learning about rap, learning about the DJ era and all that kind of stuff from the 80s, all different kind of things. So it's really, honestly, it's been a smorgasbord of all kinds of different things that I've been required to take, mostly just because Africana Studies as a field of study is so interdisciplinary. It covers so many different things. You can talk about mental health, you can talk about sexuality, you can talk about history, you can talk about architecture, you can talk about art. Like, there's so many ways in which to intersect Africana Studies and just the efforts and the contributions of African Americans, both in the diaspora and out of the diaspora. And that's why I think that's why I really, really, truly love this field of study, because it's iconic, it's everything, and it's everywhere. Next question. How has Africana Studies changed your life in general? Honestly, it has really allowed me to get in contact with the importance of my ancestors, right? And being able to reconnect with the ancestral energies, and tapping into those things, and not just my Black ancestors and everything, because obviously there's that, but really understanding that everyone who came before me, there are traces of their energy still in this universe that continues to push me, continues to carry me, continues to empower me, right? Which is why so often my friends will hear me talking about, like, oh, the core ancestors did this or the core ancestors did that, because Africana Studies allowed me to see that the people that have passed on are still here, right? Their essence is still here by the very nature of the impact that they had and the message that they gave, and the people who continue to push that work, right? So yeah. Next question. So, how has Africana Studies affected your life, specifically your performance, style, etc.? So, basically, how has Africana Studies interacted with my drag? One, as you can tell, like, she's giving me a gorgeous little look. Ooh, so cute. So not only has it impacted like my style, but even like the way that I do my makeup, and the fact that I use tribal prints and marks and things like that, or tribal adjacent. In the mixes that I do, so the performances that I do, I'm always trying to have a message, and I always make sure to include gospel music just because of how tied we are, not only to religion, because, we obviously know that in the Black community, there's a lot of ties to religion that are, good and bad, because, it's not easy when a religion tells you that you're gonna burn in hell. But that music, at the end of the day, has always really resonated with me, right? Because it's just something spiritual that really connects me to the music, and so I always make sure to put that in any of my mixes that I do, and then the speaking engagements and stuff that I do, which is so funny because a lot of the activism that people would come and have me go out and do, or speaking engagements that people would have me come out and do, or appearances and stuff, was because they would see one of my performances, and my performances would always have this impactful message to it, right? Some of them being very activist centered. So I've had a couple performances where I've did a number that spoke out against this whole idea about, like, oh, let's build this wall, and bad Mexicans, and immigrants being illegal, and aliens, and I'm just like, no, humans are not illegal, and they're not aliens, and people need to be treated with rights and respect and love and all these different kind of things, but that's just like one of the different kinds of performances that I do. I do a lot of self-empowerment performances and stuff like that, that does break down a lot of the barriers around gender identity, as you can tell by my stunning beard, because I am also a bearded queen, both in presentation and in title. I have a couple of different titles, actually, because I am the California Regional Bearded Queen runner-up for San Diego, California, like all of San Diego, California. No, all of California, not San Diego, sorry. So that's actually, that's amazing and stunning. I also hold 2 gender-neutral titles that are the first in their kind within the imperial court system, which is, think like Queen Elizabeth kind of system, but like make it queer. It's very that. So I hold the mix, which is MX, San Diego Pride 2019, which, because of coronavirus, I'm not sure if they just extended my reign, because they haven't been able to obviously, have other people run. And then I currently hold the title for Mix International Pride. So that is an international title that I hold, which is pretty, it's so mind-boggling that, like, I hold these titles that are the first of their kind, and that I'm, like, making history, which is so weird because, again, talking about the ways in which Black folks have created history and continue to create, and break through barriers and stuff like that, and, like, honestly, having these titles is one of those things, which has been heavily influenced, by taking Africana Studies courses and by Africana Studies in general, because I wouldn't have had that energy and that oomph and that fire to, like, fight for what's mine, right? Like, fight for my people and fight for our representation in all walks of life, in all areas that I live. I'm continuously fighting to make space for us, because so often we're, thrown aside and cast asunder and, not given a second thought. So yeah, that's the long answer. Yeah, that's been just a little bit about how again, that's been just a little bit of how Africana Studies has really impacted me, and my performance style, and, being a drag queen and everything. It's so funny because so many people, they literally call me, they're like, oh, that's Wakanda, here come Wakanda, even though obviously it's, like, not my name, but because of just how fervent my love is for my community, which again was sparked by being an Africana Studies major. Actually, it's so funny because I did the first ever Black Girl Magic here in San Diego, California, and there's never been one, like, ever in the history, and it's a all Black queen drag show that I did with the Vixen from RuPaul's Drag Race season 10. And I'm really hoping to like do another one. I also did the first ever San Diego Black Gay Pride Week, which started off small, but you know, always having always striving for more and wanting more. So it's always been, you know, something amazing and stunning. I feel like every time I do something, because I'm always doing it for my community, I feel like I'm always breaking through and being the first at, because there's not somebody else doing it, because there's not that importance really put into it, which is you know, it can be a little heartbreaking, because it's like I really wish that it, you know, I wouldn't have to be the one to do this, and that, you know, it was already there. But you know what they say, if nobody else is doing it and you have the energy and you have the push and you have the power, then just go out there and do it. So yeah, I hope that this has done some kind of really good explanation on what it's been like to be an Africana Studies major, and how that's really affected my life, and more specifically on my drag. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this and enjoyed this look. This, she is everything. So I think I'm done now. So, deuces! Mwah! Bye!